feel like I should have had that information just ready. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, 29.
Rest in peace, you know.
Yes.
Sorry to lose you so soon.
I know.
So I guess dedicate a couple videos to his films.
Yeah. His iconic black figures that he
portrayed. Yeah.
Yes.
So start with the review or summary, I guess.
Yes. The story of Thurgood Marshall, the crusading lawyer who would become the first African-American Supreme Court justice as he battles through one of his career-defining cases.
Okay. All right.
All
So
right.
I guess as usual, we kind of start off with things we liked, our highlights of the movie.
Yes. You could start.
Yeah, I guess I'll start. I'll kind of knock out the obvious. Like Chadwick Boseman was amazing in this one. I thought
Every scene.
just very convincing. Just looked very natural on screen. Like very commanding in every scene. Like, like he just really like. He just did the thing, you know, like he really did his thing.
Honestly, the acting from everyone
Yeah.
all around was very good. Sterling K. Brown, Josh Gad. I feel as though no one talks about how good he was.
I thought he was
very
really good too. I thought he was
Yeah.
really good too.
And he's mostly known for being Olaf in Frozen and like more comedy stuff. So seeing him take this serious role and do such a great job was wonderful. He did such a good job. So I also have the acting, but I'm gonna go through specific scenes. I guess we'll go through back to things we liked. But one of the specific scenes that I liked was the jury selection scene. That gave me both good and bad chills.
Yeah.
Because like the racism, obviously.
Yeah.
But then good chills as they were like slowly fighting and
Yeah.
And also I've been listening to, this is a side, I've been listening to a lot of true crime podcasts recently. So they emphasize how if you're in court, the jury selection is very important because you want the jury to like be swayed to your side. So they're very like meticulous in how they pick people. So when Chadwick had him pick that woman who knew Kate Hudson's character's name, whose name I don't remember right now, even though she's very important. But when they had him pick, then he was like, "That's an easy like no," but he's like, "No, look at her," like, and he like started going through all these things that he saw, and it was just fabulous. And when he turned out to be right at the end, like we knew he was gonna be right, but when he turned out to be right at the end, it was just.
Yeah, no, I thought Chadwick had a couple like sleuthing moments where he just kind of like was just piecing things together. Like, like that final conclusion or like final statement, like I thought that whole scene was beautiful. Like the connections they made to like previous things said. Like the parallels having him like say it in the restaurant.
Yeah,
even that shot of them two like sitting at the restaurant with those like grand arches.
Yeah.
Like, I guess like this was kind of like him in his younger years, so this was kind of him like bursting onto the scene. But that shot alone just gave that grand effect. Like I am the teacher right now. Like you're the student.
And like him pouring the ink into the water.
The ink into the water.
For like doubt.
Yeah.
Oh, chills. It was so good.
No, so I love that last scene.
Yeah. Is that yours or do you have another one?
Yeah, well that is what I did have that written down.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay. Another scene that I really liked was the scene when the defense had to cross-examine the witness of Kate Hudson's character, and they had to, of course, get reasonable doubt.
Yeah.
And when they said, "You didn't call for help at any point," well, my mouth was gagged.
Yeah.
And then they have Josh Gad put the gag in his mouth and scream in the courtroom. I almost burst into tears. It was so good.
Yeah, no, that scene was very chilling because like it was dead silent while they're like putting it on.
It was like, was this tight
during
enough?
the questioning, it was silent, and like as the audience, like you kind of know she can scream with that.
Yeah.
Voice. Like you know what's going to happen.
It's like you couldn't call the phone. Like you were right there at the police. You didn't call anything. Well, I was gagged. Okay, Marshall's gonna come up. Thurgood Marshall's gonna come up here, and then is like, "Is this how it was? No, it was tighter." And then he gets it as tight as possible, and then he
and it's like just so audible, like it literally rips through the silence. Like
because it is.
That
you can hear pin dropping then, and then you just. It was beautiful.
And then you like kind of see everyone in the audience react to it too. Like that scene was done very well.
Oh, that was so good. Do you have any more?
I mean, not really. I think we kind of mentioned everything. The last thing I said was I really liked the growth of Josh Gad. I like the growth of his character. Like in the beginning, for him like not even wanting to take the case, you know. To that scene where both of them are like getting beat up. I really like that scene as well. Just like kind of how they showed like okay, he was kind of taking on this hate too. Like you know, like they were saying like, oh, you're a Negro lover, like, you know, like things like that. Like he was having to live this, you know. So I like how they chose to kind of focus in on that, and then at the end they gave him his shine, and like he kind of, you know, was on his own.
Yeah.
And,
but I did like how they didn't make him too white saviory and like take over.
No,
they
didn't.
He got his shine, but it was also like, you knew Thurgood Marshall was
it was almost like a well-earned shine. Like, again, like it was kind of that student became the master at the end.
Yeah,
you know, where
he was like, what would Thurgood have said? And then he's like, don't take the deal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. But the last specific thing that I had was, it was at the end when we find out that there's a not guilty verdict, and Chadwick as Thurgood is on the phone, and they're like screaming at each other, like, not guilty, not guilty. Then he hangs up the phone, and he like leans on a wall, and there's like a White's water fountain. I just love the juxtaposition of that, because it's like they just did this great landmark victory, like so amazing and so good for people of color everywhere, but there's still so much more to go through. And then just the juxtaposition of that, like clear, like still separation and segregation, and like what's it called? Like you're being pushed down.
Like
discrimination. I don't even think that's the word I want. I might shout it out later.
Yeah.
But even that, like still being pushed down, and then the defiance he has, like he's still gonna fight, and he's just drinking from that water fountain bowl. I love that. This is why you shouldn't chew gum. Like I'm gonna spit it out. That's a me thing. I'm so sorry.
I think those are all the scenes I had. Oh, actually, no. I had one other scene that kind of went on that similar vein of him kind of like sticking up the middle finger to the racism and things like that. I love the scene in the whites only club. Or I guess I don't know if it was a whites only club, but that like rich people's club where he goes
with
to.
here?
No, where he goes to confront the other
prosecutor. That was a good one too.
And like he goes and he's like ignoring everyone who's like, you can't be here. He's like, I love the confidence he had in that scene.
Yeah.
And then when he's like, get out, he literally sits there for a second, gives a little smirk, takes a bite of his bread, and said, I've had better.
Yeah.
And walks out. Like.
And it's that thing where he's like, you know, he's not gonna eat it after you.
No, you see him slide the plate away, and I'm like, you just ruined his meal. That's like the bread is the best part, you know.
Yeah,
like,
bread is so
you
good.
just ruined his meal. So I like that scene a lot too.
I love that too. Things we didn't like / problematic scenes.
Yeah. You want to start this? I don't really have too much.
I don't really either. I will say, this is one of those movies because it's a biopic kind of, and just the era. We're not gonna say like the racism because that's stupid.
Yeah, like that.
That was the time. I will say I didn't like how certain things hit too close to home, and I was like, that could be 2020.
Yeah, like the lack of change.
Yeah, that's the thing. I hated that. But the specific thing that I didn't like, or like, this is like so minor, but I just felt as though the Langston Hughes scene, I don't think we needed it.
No, I didn't understand that either.
Yeah, I didn't understand it.
Like I guess they just wanted him in there.
Yeah, I don't know. To say he knew him, because Thurgood Marshall mentions he knows him, and I was like, I guess, but I didn't feel we needed this scene, and the movie's already like pretty long.
Like pushing 2 hours.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't think we need that. That could have been a quick little trim, and then we would have had 2 hours and 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, that's just like my own nitpick.
Okay. The only thing I had, and like honestly, I think it's more of me, and this again is like very nitpicky, and I don't even consider it a real problem because I wasn't even like hugely bothered by it. But I wanted to have something to say, so I wrote this down. But I almost wish they focused on like, I guess a different case. You know? I guess one that and again, this might just be my like lack of knowledge about this case, but it didn't seem like this case had a lot of like larger impact. You know, aside from just the you know, the not basic, but the
like uphill battle it was.
Exactly. You know, like when I think of Thurgood Marshall, like I guess this isn't the first case that comes to my mind, at least. You know, so I almost wish they kind of would have done like the Brown versus Board of Education case, but at the same time, I really liked how they had like just a snapshot of his career.
Yeah.
Like it was almost like I guess for, you know, of course for the man who was like getting accused, and for Gad's character, like it was like a huge case for them. But I like how from Marshall's perspective, it was kind of just like his job, you know. Like, he was there like this is a routine thing for me. Like I bounce around towns, and you kind of see that at the end where like, you know, while they're celebrating,
he's not even
he
there.
doesn't even get that satisfaction really. You know, like I think I liked how that just showed like how much of a battle this really is.
Yeah.
Like, yes, you're getting this small victory here, but like the battle is so much larger. Like, there's that little moment where he wants to scream on the phone, but aside from that, you do not see him celebrate. Like, it's literally on to the next case. You know, so.
Because he didn't even finish this case before he had to go to the next one.
Yeah, no, exactly. So.
Although I will argue, I liked that we were seeing him as just like a shit stir before.
And see, that's the
like
thing.
That.
That's like I almost
like,
think I like that. That outweighed the me.
Yeah, that outweighed you being like, I wish it was Brown versus
but again,
Ford.
like I just wanted to say something during the segment,
Yeah.
You know, so.
I had to fight for mine too.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was the thing I was sitting there thinking of when you walked in. I was like, is this even a nitpick? I was like, you know, I'll just say it. You know.
Okay.
Like maybe this movie deserves a sequel. You know, maybe that's what it is.
Or like, but it could have been an anthology series of just like various cases you had to do, like long form, like American Crime Story or something.
Yeah.
That would have been fun. Because American Crime Story did that. Sorry, this is an aside, but American Crime Story did that too. Because the only one I saw was The People versus OJ. So good if you haven't seen it. This is like so old, but they did the jury selection thing too, and I loved it then as well. Like, because a jury can make or break a case.
No, I really.
They make or break a case. Okay. So now it's time for ratings.
Yeah. So I guess I'll go first.
Okay.
I actually really like this one. I'll give it a 4.5.
All right.
Yeah, I just really like it. Like Chadwick was amazing. I thought it told a good story, and it, it kept like I don't want to say respectful, but it kept like a fresh and like not so depressing point of view on the story. Like a lot of times with these stories of like black people getting accused of things, you can get like this very like type of tension that just doesn't feel good. You know, it's that kind of like
it's like that black hardship.
Yeah, that like
that
helpless
like,
tension.
Oh
like damn, like this happened to us. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like. But I thought this movie did a good job of kind of like keeping that in check, I guess, and like not making me just feel down the whole movie.
Yeah.
But and again, like I thought the other thing, this movie was like really funny. Like it was a lot funnier than I thought.
I thought so too. I was like, I'm laughing.
Yeah, and like it wasn't hilarious. Like it's not a comedy, but like it might have just been Chadwick Boseman's like charisma and just like the overall charisma of like everyone in the cast.
But there were nice moments of levity.
Yeah,
still,
but
so
like you had some like good lighthearted laughs. In this one.
I liked that.
Yeah, it'll get a 4.5 from me.
Yeah.
I
also gave it a 4.5. It was just so good. The acting was so good. I have a soft spot for Sterling K. Brown. I was introduced to him through This Is Us, and like now every time I look, he's in like another thing that I really like, and I'm like, I just love him so much. And Chadwick, I could sing his praises forever. He was so good. But I think the only thing was the only reason that it got knocked down from a 5, because I was this close to giving it a 5, because we had very few things wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's just that I wouldn't watch it again. Mostly because I think part of why I liked it so much now is that you get those chills and like, what's gonna happen? Like you basically know what's gonna happen, but it's like you want to get those like beats from a new perspective, I guess. Even though you know it's gonna be, they're not gonna show a losing case.
Yeah,
that would be
how
weird.
are you gonna tell me the story? Kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's like I kind of don't think I would get that same like. Edge of my seat kind of thing if I saw it again. And I do factor rewatchability into my review pretty much. But yeah, everything was just so good. And it was, even though it wasn't like a racism we shall overcome movie. And I see those as the ones where it's like, black people go through so much shit. I hate everything. But it wasn't that. It kind of, like you said, there were still moments of levity. It wasn't like depressing.
Alright, so final question. I guess this movie's not that old, but do you wish you saw it sooner?
Yeah.
You want to go first?
I'll say a soft yes. I feel as though this would have been nice to see in theaters, almost a la Black Panther, when like you get the decision, you get like a lot of people to clap and everything, just for that kind of camaraderie in the theater. Like how in Black Panther, certain scenes you get like oohs and like big reactions from the crowd. I think that would have been nice to experience when it first came out.
Okay. Yeah, for me,
but it's a soft yes.
Yeah, for me, this is actually like a soft no. You know, like.
I think this is hard because this isn't that old.
Yeah, it's not. And like, to be honest, I think I was just like comfortable with when I saw it. You know, it's one of those things where like, I feel like the knowledge I've gained up until this point kind of helped me throughout this movie.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like I guess not like fully exposing myself, but I think only like recently within like the last year or so did I like really start to get into like Black history and kind of you know start to I guess learn that for myself. You know, so I think kind of having that perspective, yes, I would maybe like in the last year I'd want to watch this, but yeah, I'm just very comfortable with when I saw it now, so
That's
I think it still kind of lies in that soft familiar.
Because I'm more or less fine with seeing it now, but if I would have seen it earlier, I would have just wanted to see it in theaters. I wouldn't have like gone on my own and been like, oh, I wish I saw it by myself. Oh, like no, I would have wanted to be like big theater. Yeah, that was Marshall and the start of our Chadwick Boseman tribute.
Yeah. So I guess YouTube housekeeping, like, comment, subscribe.
Ring the bell for notifications. If you have any movie suggestions, you can leave them in the comments below or like DM us on Twitter. All of our social medias will be linked below. We do movie reviews on Tuesdays and Fridays, and on Sundays we do music and TV. And we'll see you next time to catch up. Bye. I'm not excited about the length of this movie. They're so freaking long.
I will say this one didn't feel that long.
It didn't.
We dragged through some 2-hour movies, but this one it went by.
Drumline, we're looking at
it's over already, you know. Drumline on the other, we were sitting there please, and please. 3 more scenes, and they're like, you know what? It's a tie, overtime, 1 more battle. And I'm like, no, this last battle will be 3 rounds.